Hello FCFT members. My name is Paul McClemens and I am your FCFT President. Once again I am responding to membership feedback and trends. I decided to use my skills in video production to create my portion of the FCFT update as a video instead of print. Statistics from my last newsletter show that 60% of members opened up the videos and watched the video I provided. So I feel as time goes on, it is much easier to listen and or watch the President than it is to read what I have to say. Teachers and staff don't have time to sit and read anymore because of the workload placed on them. More on that later in this video. As the first grading period comes to an end, I wanted you all to be aware of the following regulations that relate to the differences in teacher-directed work days, school planning days, and staff development days. Regulation 4421.15 states, teacher work days provide a balance of teacher planning time with opportunities for staff meetings and professional development. Emphasis is on teacher planning time to prepare for the first weeks of school. At times, professional development, vertical articulation, and or collaboration at the pyramid or regional level are planned for these days. There are 4 teacher workdays at the beginning of the school year and 1 teacher workday at the end of the school year. Remaining teacher workdays will be scheduled throughout the year and listed on the school calendar. Teachers may choose to work at an alternate location with the approval of the principal during 2 of the teacher workdays. The FCPS school board may designate the selection of those days. Any undesignated days will be delineated at the school level and eligible for work at an alternate location. Teacher staff development days are professional development days directed by Chief Academic Officer, Department of Instructional Services, and Department of Special Services to articulate changes and updates in standards, curriculum, and assessments, and to provide division-wide professional development for the areas of focus on the FCPS Professional Development Plan. School planning days are devoted to school improvement efforts, including collaboration around data, common assessments, responsive instruction, etc., with 50% of the day directed by the school and 50% of the school day, directed by the teachers. Teacher-directed time may include individual planning, collaborative team planning, or attending professional development offered by the school or FCPS departments. Program managers may facilitate any needed coordination for teacher-directed time, but may not require specific activities during this time. There are 6 school days in the school calendar designated as 2-hour early release days. 2-hour early release typically precedes a holiday or another type of teacher workday. This time is used for teachers to plan, conduct grading activities, and meet with their collaborative learning team at their discretion. If you have any extra comments, concerns, or thoughts on the workdays in Regulation 4421.5, please contact the FCFT office at 703-451-6840. FCPS has asked me to get out the word on their newest survey about the 2017 to 2018 school year calendar. There are currently 2 versions of the calendar drafted for your discussion and feedback to FCPS in the survey. The school board will be discussing the calendar drafts at their work session on November 7th, 2016. They will make a final decision on December 1st, 2016. Both calendars reflect the decision made by the school board last year to begin school the week before Labor Day. More information can be found in your FCPS email entitled FCPS News You Choose, Employee News, Tuesday, 11/1/2016, sent this past Tuesday. Check your email for that information. FCFT has been getting a lot of questions about the meals tax referendum on the election ballot in November. Here is the ballot question. For the purpose of reducing dependence on real estate taxes, shall the Board of Supervisors of Fairfax County, Virginia, be authorized to levy a tax on prepared food and beverages, otherwise known as a meals tax, as allowed by Virginia Code 58.1-3833, at a rate not to exceed 4% of the amount charged for prepared food and beverage, which, based upon state law, is applicable only to sales outside the town of Clifton and towns of Herndon and Vienna that have already implemented a meals tax. The revenues generated shall be dedicated to the following purposes. Number 1, 70% of the net revenues to Fairfax County Public Schools. Number 2, 30% of the net revenues to county services, capital improvements, and property tax relief. And right below that, you will be asked to vote yes or no on the ballot. Here's a short explanation of the meals tax from the county website. State law authorizes counties, cities, and towns to levy a tax on prepared food and beverages, commonly called a meals tax, subject to certain restrictions. Most counties, including Fairfax County, may levy a meals tax only if the voters approve the tax by referendum. The question presented in this referendum asks Fairfax County voters whether the Board of Supervisors should be authorized to levy a meals tax at a rate not to exceed 4% of the amount charged for the taxable food and beverage. As discussed above, the Board of Supervisors has decided to dedicate the revenue to two purposes. The most important being 70% of that net revenue would be dedicated to our schools, the Fairfax County Public Schools. The other 30% of the net revenues would be dedicated to county services, capital improvements, and property tax relief. The question also states that the Board of Supervisors' reason for seeking authority to oppose a meals tax is to reduce the county's dependence on real estate taxes. Currently, nearly 65% of Fairfax County's general fund budget relies upon real estate taxes. State law limits what the county can tax and how it may otherwise raise revenue. Almost 90% of Fairfax County non-property tax revenues are capped, limited, or controlled by the state. A meals tax would give the county a new source of revenue, which would help diversify the county's revenue base. At the maximum 4% tax rate, a meals tax would generate an estimated $99 million per year. The tax would apply to prepared food and beverages at restaurants and similar establishments, although the law carves out some exceptions where the tax would not apply. It would apply to beverages, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, that are served with a meal. It would not apply to groceries. Grocery and convenience stores would only collect the tax on ready-to-eat foods, like foods from the delicatessen. On a $5 meal, the tax would be 20 cents. On a $50 meal, the meals tax would be $2. A meals tax applies in addition to other applicable taxes, such as the sales taxes. A number of area jurisdictions already impose a meals tax, including Arlington County, the cities of Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax, and the towns of Herndon and Vienna. Based upon state law, the county's meals tax would not apply in the towns of Clifton, Herndon, or Vienna. If a majority of the voters approve the meals tax referendum, then the Board of Supervisors may adopt an ordinance that specifies the tax rate and the terms of the tax. The ballot question dedicates the net revenues of the meals tax to the two purposes specified, so the Board of Supervisors would have the authority to allow the sellers to be compensated for their collection efforts and timely filing and remittance of that tax. If approved, the meals tax is estimated to generate approximately $99 million in the first year. The school board is committed to dedicating the vast majority of the meals tax funding to ensuring competitive teacher salaries. Yes, competitive teacher salaries. The meals tax is intended to diversify county revenue and to supplement, not replace, support for school and county services. For the 2017 to 2018 school year, FCPS has required spending increases of approximately $58 million. A number of neighboring jurisdictions already have a meals tax in place, including Alexandria, Arlington, Washington, D.C., Falls Church, and Fairfax City. The jurisdictions have had a meals tax for over 10 years, and the taxpayers of Fairfax County have helped fund their schools, their teacher salaries, and other community needs. It is time for our community of teachers and staff members of FCPS to educate our neighbors about the vote on November 8th. Remember to encourage your friends and family who live in Fairfax County to vote yes for the meals tax. This might be the only way FCPS funds teachers' salary increases and step increases in the future. Your vote does count. Check out the video below for more information on the meals tax. Speaking of voting on November 8th, I am including a video below from our lobbyist, Barry Weinstein. He discusses the right to work for less amendment that is on the ballot November 8th. Once again, it is time to educate our neighbors about the importance of voting no on one. Check out that video below, too. I attended an FCFT lunch at Lanier Middle School this morning, and I heard loud and clear from the staff members that the workload in Fairfax County Public Schools is too much. Our profession is the only profession where we get treated by others as if we aren't the professionals. We are asked by administration and elected officials to fill out and provide documented paperwork that we are doing our job correctly. Essentially, we are playing the part of our own secretary and not getting paid well enough to do the extra work. We are asked to attend meetings with our team members that put the workload on one person and creates more work for the whole team. We are blamed by the parents and administration for the lack of student engagement. The only accountability for the work a student creates is placed on the teacher, and that is unfair. Teachers are asked to email parents when the technology is available for parents and students to do it on their own time. Technology should save teachers time, not create more work with less time to do that work. There is not enough time in the contracted school day to get the work done due to the documentation procedures in place right now. It is time for FCPS to begin to treat the teachers as the professionals that we are. Stop telling us what to do and let us do what we are passionate about, creating lessons and teaching our students. This has been a long video newsletter, but there's a lot of information to get out to our members. I hope you enjoy the changes that have been made here at FCFT. I do notice the visitors that we have coming to our website, the social media platforms, and my newsletters. As always, please make sure that you, yes you, keep FCFT updated with a current home address and a current, personal, non-FCPS email address. We ask that you provide that non-FCPS personal email address because FCPS can and will monitor the emails sent by FCFT to an FCPS email address. Therefore, you may miss important information that would normally be delivered to your personal email address. Thank you for all your feedback and input. Please continue to let me know your thoughts and concerns. I get asked by many different departments within FCPS what I am hearing from my membership. I always enjoy being able to provide that feedback after hearing from all of you. Last but not least, please continue to visit our website www.fcft.org and social media sites as I update those sites several times per week. Have a great November, and I look forward to all of your feedback. Thank you.